Hey there, lads. How are you doing? How are you feeling?
End this
It
story.
doesn't matter what you feel! This is the Tales finale. We are doing it right now.
Go in a distant past.
It begins and it ends. It begins and then it ends. But first it has to begin for it to end. But it's going to end, all of it, tonight. This is the Tales finale. This has been such a tumultuous journey.
How long have we been reading these stories for? These particular ones?
Yes, I wanted to bring that up, in fact. We started reading this, it was a spring of 2016.
Are we talking about Tales Saga in general or just this fic of it?
This fanfic is the fifth part of a larger beast, so I'm referring to Tales in general.
Just wanted to be sure because there has been quite a long stretches of lull sometimes between chapters.
Well, of course there has been a long stretch of time between chapters sometimes. Otherwise, I would be all burnt out. And
yes, same.
Yes,
we need sometimes little time to get our sleeping schedule back in order.
Yes, especially since I am the one who edited all this. I have edited this fanfiction reading since 2016. I did it on my own. How am I still sane?
What makes you think you were ever sane?
Okay, let me rephrase. How am I not more insane?
You see, it is a circular motion. You eventually go so much insane that you start going back to sanity.
Ah, sanity as such a promise as a wrestling stable. Anyway.
Unfortunately, it was dead on arrival.
Oh yes, it was. You have no idea. No, really, you have no idea what I'm talking about, so you don't have authorization to comment.
I thought it was a metaphor.
No, it was literally a stable named Sanity.
In wrestling.
Now that's just sad.
No, it was a good stable when they were in the developmental stage, but then they were brought up in the main roster in WWE. And why am I talking about wrestling? This isn't a wrestling campaign that we are doing on twitch.tv/fanboyferris. Watch it every Sundays. No, we are here to read the Tales finale. And oh boy, this has been a long time coming. So long. We finally managed to get to the end of this behemoth, this literary behemoth that took us to such wild trips.
Yeah, all these heights of awfulness.
A lot has changed ever since we began this. Devara, you have been a constant throughout this reading. You were always there for me, and I appreciate it.
I just do my best to be here, I guess, for reasons.
Your best is very appreciated. And also, Isipal, you started off as a fan, a silent fan, might I add, and now you are the loudest of us all.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Powell.
Okay. Consider this the pre-show, if you will. I have to ask you, what were your favorite memories of this fanfiction reading? your favorite moments, your funniest moments, the funniest beats and sketches we've ever done, the most mesmerizing things we reacted to.
Long ago in a distant past.
To be honest, it's hard for me to remember, to be honest, because the fact that my memory is not what it used to be.
Well, old man Devar, as it happens, I have very vivid memories of some of our earlier escapades. All the way to Chapter 1, Part 1, I still remember For Fear!
For fear.
She screamed for fear!
I have forgotten that.
I've forgotten that too. Now that reminded me though, I did remember, the one funny thing that basically everybody laughed at, which was the me basically, proclaiming the house was the most upsetting thing to have died.
Yes!
Yes.
That
was a
has
good one.
tormented me for several months, by the way, because you kept bringing it back.
Then there was also the Varsa recipe.
That is
That was
most recent.
very recent.
Well, we were all pretty much on napalm fire during Chapter 8.
Yes, that was pretty on fire for all the wrong and the right reasons. Sexy Snogus is one of the most brilliant puns I could ever hear.
Then there was the time when we all just died when Madhog was a tsundere.
Yes, a lot of good memories from the reading of Chapter 8, I must admit. Okay, so remember all the time in which I not intended a pun, which was totally intended, and I said no pun intended, or pun very much intended, and it ruins completely a scene. Oh, and remember when Ross started off making gay jokes about Espio and Tails at the end of Chapter 2, and he wouldn't stop. He was just going at it like a freight train.
Now that you mention it, yes. And I wasn't helping.
You were really pounding it in.
Guys.
Yes!
Remember when Espio did?
He did.
He did!
Totally did.
And he did!
Tails.
No! Oh no!
I mean, during one of these readings, Devar said how he wanted to do Sonic.
Wait, did I?
Yes! That was the time when I was just... I had to slap hand over my mouth and do all the muffled screaming because I really wanted to make a dirty joke about that, but I was holding myself back.
You are the master of dirty jokes, as in... Not the master in terms of quality, but in terms of quantity, yes.
Oh, thank you.
It's a backhanded insult.
It's the nicest thing anyone has said to me all week.
Oh wow, I'm sorry. So anyway, we have great fun and great memories, in quotation mark, when reading this fanfiction. Okay, listen, we suffered together, we laughed together. We became serious for a moment when it was time to address a disturbing topic and the way it was mistreated. That one time, several times, but that one time more than ever. So I like to think that amidst all the laugh and the riffing and the constant getting on each other's nerves, we managed to provide some sort of wholesome entertainment for those who actually had the patience and the will to listen to... How long is this again? Reading that we've been doing since 2016.
And usually one episode is, depending on the length of the chapter, 1 or 2 hours.
Or 3 or 4.
I think the average would be 1 hour and a half. If we are being generous. But yes, some chapters would go on for 2 hours, 1 hour and 40 minutes, so on.
Yeah, not helped by us being snarky.
Yes, but that's part of the package. That's what we are giving. That's what we are adding to this show. If it were just to be a dramatic reading, then it wouldn't be any different from any other audiobook out there.
Oh,
But
true.
we are
Yes.
providing a service. We are reading, commenting, reviewing, and making fun at the same time.
And commenting on the reviews. Let's not forget that part.
We are dividing by 0.
Yes. And we'll have to read those reviews for this chapter after
Yes.
we finish reading this one.
Speaking of which, it is now time to finally read Chapter 10, Part 5.
One more thing before we dive in. A moment of silence for the sake of Matti, who could not be here tonight, even though he has been a part of these readings many times because he has real life to worry about.
Yes, a
He
moment
was
of
very
silence for that
tired
man.
today, in other words. So yes, let's do a minute of silence in honor of those who have fallen, all of those who have fallen, not just Matti, but Ross Ferris and
Y-boy.
Y-boy. And that's pretty much it, I believe. Yes, let's have a minute of silence.
And all of our consciousness.
Yes, for those who did not survive the reading of this fanfiction, which is to say they dropped off because they had better things to do. Was that a minute yet?
You are the one who edits this in post, so you can stretch it to be a minute.
I could do that, but then we would have 1 minute of dead air. That's not good
Yes.
radio.
Yeah, just a moment. Yes, I think a moment's passed.
Yes, the moment's passed, so let's get
When did it
to
pass?
A moment ago.
When was that?
A moment ago.
But I didn't. Really, when did it pass?
What manner of
In the
Abbott and
past.
Costello sketch is this?
Maybe it passed with Matti's air.
Oh, that's a low blow. Poor Matti.
That is very bad. I would like to end this night.
Let's end this night in a blaze of glory, like the last episode of Game of Thrones, which by the time this comes out, it will not be a relevant comment anymore. Chapter 10, everybody. It is time. Let's do this.
Yeah.
She was frozen today.
I knew you'd make that joke.
It was there. And not just because of the coffin she was in. That was necessary, thank you. He was back. He was staring at her. He was grinning. And she was terrified. From the insides of her status coffin, his already disfigured face appeared even more deformed and demonic than usual. A cry of pure despair was locked in her throat, incapable of coming out due to her imprisonment. Is incapable going to be the new Definitelli here?
Let's see if we can grow up and feel the shoes of Definitelli.
Nothing can feel the shoes of Definitelli.
Well, considering how deformed those shoes are, that is not surprising.
He was still grinning. His sharp teeth were showing a deviated eagerness, but not as near as his glowing brown eyes. She could tell that he had an interest on her. A very dangerous interest.
Am I the only one who's thinking that this is describing some upcoming sexual assault?
It's pretty much literally meant to sound like that. Dangerous
Well, it
for
works.
her! He licked his lips in the light.
Sexist Nagas is coming to you.
He's in the Goldust's robe.
A Shattered Chaos Productions. It's not that funny. I don't know why you're laughing, but I appreciate it. Cosmos' fear was matched only by her utter disgust. She wasn't the type who could ever harm or hate anything, but she openly despised this ancient, perverted being who just loved to stare at her with those malicious eyes.
He can't help that. It's his bedroom eyes.
Ugh. Suddenly, he put his right 5-fingered hand on the coffin's surface. A strange energy flux came out from it, engulfing her own body. She felt the new force. The force that which awakens, if you will.
Nagas, I want a divorce.
She
He's not
felt
married yet.
her own strength back again. She felt reborn. She also felt something different. Sadness, ellipsis, guilt, ellipsis, love, ellipsis, death and robots, and regret.
What's new with this fanfiction?
Emotions
Ooh.
that she knew very well. Emotions that she experienced, but not on her own. But not her own, I should say. Those were someone else's feelings, someone else's memories, someone else's life. No. What have you done, monster? What have you done to him? She understood now. This was Void's life force. She could see all of his remembrances.
No.
Remembrances.
That thesaurus must have came in handy that day, huh?
Well, I did not ever consult a thesaurus, but I did used to have a Italian to English dictionary.
Right.
He was born from her seed. Tails planted it. Okay.
My God.
Okay. In fairness, every possible joke we could have made about
Was already
this
made.
has already been made about 50 times. Void was her and Tails' child. There is no other way to interpret this sentence.
What a twist! We could have never imagined or guessed that Void was their child.
If you think about it, it doesn't make any lick of sense, so...
No.
His
No sense, only
whole
definitely.
life has
His
been
whole life.
Yes, his all life. As in ALL life.
What? Could you not find the hole?
No, I could not find the hole to which penetrate with my wording. Has
That's
been a
because-
gigantic lie. Yes?
That's because the hole is invisible.
A hoax orchestrated by this evil being who was keeping her captivated with his sexy bedroom eyes.
Wow. Wow. This one word changes everything.
Yes, unbelievable.
Because at first it's like the author obviously wants us to know she's fearing the situation, but then captivated comes in, it makes it sound like she's enjoying the fear.
Oh my gosh. She's going to scream for fear in a few moments. The same being who just killed him in order to heal her disease. She could also see his beloved ones. Imaginary tears descended from the Sidrian's azure eyes when she discovered that the two most important persons in his life were the same of hers. Blaze, her best friend, her sister. Oh, remember that?
Yes.
No.
Okay, was
Sisterhood.
Void's true love. Come to think of it, it is rather messed up that Blaze falls in love with this guy who looks exactly like Cosmo, after Cosmo was presumed dead.
Just with the sunglasses to look more dark and troubled and badass.
Tails, her savior, her guardian and lover. Wait, her guardian and lover? Do you realize how does that sound?
Yeah, Titus and Yuna.
No, it sounds like he's her legal guardian, but also her lover,
Wait, really?
and that's kind of wrong.
Wait, really? That's where you mind jumped? Ooh, Madhog, you dirty, dirty boy.
I'm sorry, have you been missing the entire deviated context from this entire paragraph? I think it's pretty much in tune with the rest of the mood.
Well, yes, but I like to poke fun at you because you are usually the least perverted out of all of us.
Wow, really? Thank you. I appreciate it. That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me. Void's personality was so similar to his. Finally, she saw his last moments of life. On this dimension, at least.
Oh, I see. He wasn't killed. He was sent to a different dimension.
Yes, much like Vegeta sent Nappa to the next dimension.
Yes, that was the joke. Laugh at it.
No, when he and his blazing princess disappeared through the flames together...
Don't worry, they're okay. I see the parachutes.
Well, it's a good thing that it was Sunday, so all the buildings were empty. Together, forever. She felt that feeling once again, guilt, and this time it was Arun. He died for her. Her only son died to let his mother live. It was not consensual, might I add. And she didn't even get to know him, to meet him, to love him as a mother.
We weren't thinking any other types.
I just
Somewhere.
love the awkward silence after that.
Somewhere out in the world, certain Italian critic could feel two pairs of disapproving eyes from the north staring at him.
However, she still had hopes. Or better, she had certainties. There is no drama then.
Yeah, a Vince McMahon, I guarantee.
My writing is not that bad, is it?
Well, I don't know your current writing style.
No, I mean, even old Madhog's writing is not as bad as a regular episode of Monday Night Raw, I would like to think. Which is pretty bad. Wherever he would have ended up, he would have not be alone? That's a combination of words. Blaze,
Yeah.
her sister, his lover, would be with him. She forced a sad smile inside her mind.
Next thing we learn is that the afterlife in the Sonic universe works like in the Lord of the Rings. Different races have different afterlives.
That
So
is...
they'll never see each other again.
That is very, very messed up. And also very, very, very colonialist of Mr. Tolkien. I wish the best for the both of you. Be happy. She
In
paused,
death?
and then resumed. Perhaps one day we'll be able to live like a real family. Spoilers! Nah. I'll be waiting for that moment. She paused again, and then concluded. Void, my child, and Blaze, my beloved sister. Goodbye, and thanks for all the fish. I mean, good luck.
They are dead.
Dead, dead.
I wish they were dead.
They are dead.
Unfortunately, they are not.
Yes.
Nani?
Okay, paragraph break. That means I take over. In the upper, roofless part of the hidden palace, the god gem itself, the Master Emerald, was glowing like never before, reacting to what it considered to be its natural enemy, the one who controls chaos.
The one who punches the stars!
The one who wants to destroy it!
Okay. Okay.
From the top spot of its altar, the enormous jewel was trying to resist its enemy's influence. Not to avail.
To no avail, it should be.
Yeah, I
Yes.
kind of gathered that.
Not to avail? To no avail, should it be?
Onaga, the Dragon King, had returned!
Oh no!
Sorry, it's a Mortal Kombat joke.
I know.
I'm just saying for Madhog's sake, because I don't think he
Now,
knows.
I
Mortal
am
Kombat.
not familiar with the deep lore of Mortal Kombat, sadly.
Good!
Well, let me recite you a tale.
No!
Please, no. Please don't. Listen, the only thing I care about Mortal Kombat is the Mortal Kombat theme from the Mortal Kombat film from the 90s, and nothing else.
Mortal Kombat!
Etc.
Okay. Ixis Naugus knew that.
Say it properly.
Sexist Naugus.
Good boy, Devar. Good
Oh,
boy.
wait, don't you mean Ixis Nagis?
Ixis Haggis. Wait! Sexist Haggis.
Bogus Nautilus.
This Scottish porn is just getting extremely ridiculous these days.
Okay, seriously now. Ixis Naugus knew that him and the gem were made of the same material. Pure, concentrated chaos energy. Oh, right.
What, you thought he was made of diamonds?
I thought that basically you were trying to insinuate that he was made of a gem.
Well, he is a gem.
He is a gem, but there are no holograms.
Therefore, he knew that it could not resist his powers any more than he could resist its own.
By the way, Danton, that joke was...
Where's Danton? I didn't
Where's
know
Danton?
you invited him.
Oh, wait. Oh. Why did I confuse you with Danton? I don't get it.
Which one of us did you confuse?
I confused you with Danton, not the bar, strangely enough.
But it's Devar who sounds like Danton.
I don't know. When I hear you talking, you sound like Danton, but with a Finnish accent.
What does Finnish accent actually sound like to you? I'm curious.
I'm going to try and reproduce it, and I will not promise any good result. I'm here speaking to you with my accent, which I cannot reproduce.
A bit smoky. Like you just came out of a smoke sauna.
Also, while I'm thinking about this right this moment in time, Iceland in the Eurovision Song Contest had a BDSM, stage performance, and they're in the finals.
That's nice. That's progressive.
Yeah, especially since they're all males in it, and it's
Good
like
for
heavy
them.
metal techno.
Nice, good for them.
I mean,
It's good, but it's no. We are the winners of Eurovision. We are.
Okay,
We
I'm
are.
gonna continue now.
Please tell me that this song actually won Eurovision.
we
No.
won't know until Saturday. Yo,
There is...
Wait.
Okay, so you mean to tell me somebody entered the Eurovision with an actual song that says, we are winning Eurovision?
Oh yes, that was in 2006 when the hell froze over and we found life on Mars because Finland won that year.
wasn't that the Lordi?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so guys, I am torn. On one hand, this all aside was a complete waste of time, but on the other hand, it was so amusing that I might just keep it in. All of it.
Okay, I'm gonna continue reading this then. They were linked. They were nemesis, and so equal in every way. Or so he thought. The arrogant sorcerer.
Okay, so it would seem that the author is slowly regaining some of its authorial intent. I don't know what to call it.
Authorial authority.
So, you came,
Quack, 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 quack.
he said.
All over the flower meadows. That's how Cetrians are born.
He said, pretending to be surprised.
Okay, enough with the seed planting.
He slowly turned to face his unwilling yet determined guests.
Which he did not kill before because bad guy.
Because classic evil guy is so overly arrogant that he could beat the good guys anytime he wants.
Yes, that's pretty much what they all do.
Why should I kill you here? It's not like you have any chance of actually finishing me. I am the author. I decide how this goes.
Long ago in a distant fan fiction.
The three last hopes for this world's own freedom stood tall in front of that mischievous and manipulative image.
Okay.
Mage.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know why. I just saw an eye in there when there should be one.
Yes,
Wow, Gevar.
also it's mischievous. It's
I
never
did-
mischievous. Everybody says mischievous, but it's mischievous.
It's
Guess
how
who died?
we say it in Britain.
Oh, okay. We're getting into that argument again, huh? Is that what you want? Is that what you crave, Devar?
No, I'm just telling you how it is.
Oh,
I
he's
mean-
telling it like it is. Did you hear that, Icy Pal?
Yes, I did hear that. He's telling it as it is.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to continue reading, so you guys have this invisible argument by yourselves.
It certainly paints an image.
Tails, the vessel of intelligence, whose greatest strengths were his brain and his heart. Intelligence doesn't include the heart.
What if his brain is in the heart and the heart is in the brain?
Then he should go see somebody about it. That's not normal. He stood in the center of the trio, because he's the important character after all. Knuckles, the vessel of strength, the stubborn powerhouse who's usually driven by blind wrath, but capable of rational thoughts and unsuspicious wisdom.
That's some implications.
He stayed on Tails' left side because he knew he was not in the right.
Oh my god! He stayed on the left side and he is red.
Why?
Oh, I see what you're going for, but for the sake of us all, I would advise you not to continue that line of thought.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll ask Icy Pal afterwards.
It was going political on us.
Oh, okay. No more then. Sonic, the vessel of speed. A being whose speed has no equals, and the one whose dumb enthusiasm and pride has been able to keep the group united. Though I haven't seen any evidence of that.
Let's just trust the author. He knows what he's doing.
I mean, let's wait here for a moment, and I'm sure we'll have a flashback to all the times Sonic's enthusiasm and pride kept the group together.
He was on Tails' right.
Are you seeing anything?
Well, I see Sonic voting Republican, that's for sure.
Oh, so it's bad when I do it, but when you do it.
Yes,
All
that's the joke. Don't spoil it.
All three of them were chosen by nature.
That old spiel again.
Results of natural selection, and therefore embraced and perfectly accustomed to the undeniable chaos that life is.
Yes, they were the survivor of nature's battle royale, essentially.
Sixus Nautus was the wrong their enemy.
Oh, Ixis Nagus was there!
I know,
Just
enemy.
There,
But
standing, doing nothing.
yeah, but you're using the wrong there.
I know.
Ixis Naugus was order. Order meant as the supreme negation of the endless possibilities.
Do
of
I
the
have to trademark these two words together?
of the freedom that a chaotic world like this is bound with. Nearby, the old sorcerer, a few meters on his right. There she stood, beautiful as ever, young as the Vulpine remembered, and still frozen today.
I knew it. I knew
Well,
it.
gotta continue the theme, huh?
Yes, let's keep this train rolling right into the cliff.
The kitsune's aqua eyes glued themselves on the stasis coffin in which Cosmos slept in, hardly resisting the urge to cry in commotion. Commotion?
Crying commotion? Okay, I meant... he was getting moved to tears. That's what I meant.
He then re-diverted his gaze on the awful image of his greatest enemy yet.
Don't you mean the awful mage of his greatest enemy yet?
Ooh, foreshadowing.
I must have mixed up the two words then.
Okay, it happens.
The soul proclaimed Iblis grinned.
Get schwonky, I guess.
Of course.
Of course!
And started to spoke with his ancient asthmatic voice. You don't think you can stop me, do you? I am a god, you fools! I am the writer of the story, and I have absolute control over everything that ever lived. I am...
An imposter!
Interrupted Tails, ending the sentence for the old image. I did that on purpose this time.
Yes, I know you have. Okay, so what's this new development? What's this about an imposter? Don't you want to know? I bet you'll want to know real bad.
Does it matter?
Yes, extremely.
Naga stopped dead on his self-inflating speech. In hearing the fox's sudden words, a whole new emotion became visible in his deformed facial features. Bemusement. What did you say? He asked, clearly irritated by the kid's disrespect.
Oh.
Tails just backhanded him. The kid in question was now smirking like Satan because he was the real villain all along.
Smirking like Satan before an easily corruptible soul? That's not an analogy you want to use for your good guys.
Yes.
That did come out of a left field.
Yes, he was that confident. Tails answered the Dark Mage's question.
I said you are not a god. You are not the writer. And
the writer.
Writer. And you are certainly not the controller of everything. You are Gerald Robotnik, aren't you?
What?
What?
Yes, your reactions! Mwah! Perfection! I cannot believe it that you did not see this coming. I can't believe you did not see this coming. I gave you all the clues and hints all the way back to the backstory. Yes, Gerald Robotnik goes into the machine, and then Ixis Nagus reemerges from the machine, and Gerald Robotnik is mysteriously gone. I am surprised you did not see that coming. It means I've done something good.
Well, the problem with that is because all this time everyone has been referring to Ixis Nagus as if it was this some ancient primordial entity that has been there pretty much all the time.
Yes, because that's how he has been presenting himself since the beginning.
To be honest, I wasn't really concentrated all that much because I was more concentrated on the reading rather than anything else.
I managed to give you one twist that made sense in retrospect and still took you by surprise. I did something right. I consider it a victory. I could not wait to hear your reactions to this. This is the last great revelation
I do agree with Madhog. This is, well, on hindsight, this does make sense.
Now I wish I concentrated more because now I feel ashamed and embarrassed.
I have gotten the both of you with...
No, you did not.
Yes,
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 he did.
yes,
No,
I did.
I wasn't
Yes.
concentrating. It doesn't count.
Excuses, lame excuses.
Excuses.
Listen,
So-
this was a twist that on regular circumstances would be easy to predict, but I managed to divert your attention from it so well that you did not see the obvious coming. So this is the one element in this entire fanfiction that works.
Next time I'm concentrating rather
Yes.
than just going with the flow of reading.
Yes,
I mean,
it
Just
was
because
my
you're painting
plan
the wrong picture for me.
all along. My plan all along, you guys, to distract you with really awful writing so that this one twist actually works.
Yes, but this does then raise the question: how the hell did Tails figure that one out? Because
That's what I mean. How did Tails figure it out?
Yes, because Tails, the only one in the people present, of the heroes who knows actually who this entire backstory, how Ixis, Nagos, and Gerald Robotnik are connected is Knuckles.
Icipal.
Yes.
Remember what happened last chapter? They had the time to discuss things, and one of those things they discussed was what they all collectively found out about everything. It was one long sentence in which Knuckles told them everything, and it mentions pretty much everything relevant to what Knuckles discovered. Ixis Nagos' backstory, Angel Island. He just omitted the whole business with his sister and Fang, because everything else was shared.
Okay, I'm gonna continue this reading now.
I got a new.
I'm just gonna.
Great.
I'm just-
Oh, great. Now we are going to know what is going to be the main topic of discussion the next 6 months.
Yeah, I'm just gonna ignore it just because, I know the truth of
Listen.
my feelings and such, and
Yes,
me just making
Devar.
stuff up.
Devar.
No. I'm just gonna continue reading, okay?
Devar, admit it. Just admit you were not paying attention, and this twist had the better of you. Admit it, and you will be a better person for it.
No, I'm just telling you the truth that I wasn't concentrating more into the reading of the fanfiction, really.
Well, that's on you, really, not on me.
I'm just saying that if I was concentrating, I actually probably would have got it. Anyway,
Yes, he says that.
Nalgus's bemusement was now turned into pure shock. Something that he wasn't accustomed with. Both Knuckles and Sonic diverted their heads.
Yes, much like you diverted your attention when you were supposed to pay attention.
On the clever fox. They were quite surprised as well. Now that I remember, the reason I don't remember the Gerald Robotnik thing is because I actually forgot he was in that scene.
It was a pretty important scene. He built
Exactly.
the prototype for the machine,
But
for the
that's
roboticizer
but
that
is
brought
actually the
Ixis
truth,
Nagos to
actually.
it.
Anyway, Tails' smirk never left his face.
It was easy to imagine. It's the usual story, really. It's almost a cliché.
Icipal, Devar,
Yes?
and everybody who read the fiction and did not see the twist coming. I want you all to view this next sentence as me making fun of you for not seeing it coming.
Uh-huh.
Please, Icipal, continue.
I will continue buttering up your ego. Just this once.
Thank you.
The mad scientist that falls victim of his own invention absorbs a lot of energy and become an even more crazed freak with godlike powers. In this case, you!
You!
He
He's
just
hulking
speaks-
up!
He just Phoenix Wright by pointing at him.
Devar, do you have cameras in my apartment?
Wait, what?
Because I was finished writing it and pointing.
Oh, wow. I was just taking
Okay.
a wild guess. He solemnly uttered while pointing his furry gloved hand on the not-so-omniscient, long-bearded creature who was still in shock.
You were
Tails.
shocked!
Tails continued.
You can do a few tricks, I'll admit it. But you are not invincible, and you are definitely not...
No.
He really wants
Come
Definitelli to return.
Come on, Madhog, old time's sake.
No. Maybe at the end.
But you are not invincible, and you are definitely not in control of anybody's fate. You are just the average villain who wants to take over the world with an overcomplicated scheme and a lot of sheer luck. That's it!
And
Of
also
course.
wanted to marry a plant girl.
Yes, that too, but that's part of the package, really.
At this insulting statement, Naugus did what any average villain would do when the hero finds out the truth about his plan. He laughed maniacally in order to mask his obvious awkwardness.
Wait, so if he's not in control of anybody's fate and he's not omniscient, omnipotent, and all that jazz, does that mean that everything he said about how he was behind all the death and misery and suffering of all the characters in the story was just him bullshitting?
Pretty much.
Yes. So it becomes nothing.
Pointless.
Okay, it's not exactly pointless, and I'm going to expand on that once we are done with all of this. Well, this is awkward.
Yes, you're the vessel of intelligence, all right. Chuckled the individual once known as Gerald Robotnik, patriarch of the Robotnik dynasty and direct ancestor of Ivo Julian, commonly recognized as Dr. Eggman. But that changes nothing. I'm still the chosen messiah of the ancient walkers. Everything has been created and disposed for my arrival.
Nonsense! You are even more delusional than Eggman used to be.
Taunted the fox. Tell me, then, how can you rationally explain everything that happened to you? He turned into a delinquent from an anime all of a sudden. Like, how can you explain your own life and all the incomprehensible things in the world? The similarities between you and the plant girl with Merlin and Earthia. The flawless realization of my ancient prophecy.
Which he made on the spot, I remind you.
The existence of something like the Master Emerald. How can you explain nature, life, chaos itself, if they're not a superior entity's doing? The sorcerer solemnly questioned. To his displeasure, the rational part of Tails didn't have an answer for this. You can't, but someone else had it. Everybody turned their collective attention to the relaxed and suddenly wise form of Knuckles the Echidna.
He has grown up a giant old man beard. He has a cane, a worn out, tattered robe.
Knuckles is the one who goes through the most character development in this fic.
Yes, not enough.
Certain things happens without a reason, things that we cannot explain, that we're not bound to know. Nature, evolution, life, and death. Rationality and logic, even your precious order, are all part of this mess, are all part of the chaos we live in, and all we can do about it is stop worrying and start enjoying what the endless possibilities of life could offer. Simply put, leave and learn.
Leave and learn!
Leave and learn.
Oh, also, yes,
Okay,
it's...
fine. I am leaving. I've learned from this freak and I'm leaving.
Okay, yes, it's supposed to be L-I-V-E, instead it's L-E-A-V-E, and I have made this mistake before.
Yeah.
So you didn't live and learn.
No, I stayed and learned.
But you kept making the mistake, so you couldn't have.
The paradox is part of chaos.
The echidna solemnly added.
Hey
Tails and-
kids, isn't this what you wanted from your Sonic fiction? Existentialism!
I would argue that the Sonic film trailer has made everyone a little bit existential.
Yeah, Tails and Sonic stared at him with the baffled yet admiring gazes.
Wow, where has this handsome echidna been all my life?
I've fallen for him hard, man.
Ahem! Don't you think it's a little too easy that way?
Tails retorted. Knuckles just smiled at his younger friend, forgetting completely about the villain who was standing right before them, who could just kill them right now.
He's too busy being baffled.
Yes, he's still shocked, and as we all know, you have to flip a coin and call it a heads or tails to get out of paralysis.
Perhaps. But sometimes, the best explanations are the simplest. He said, understanding the true meaning of his former phantom guide's words.
Knuckles! Remember, the best explanations are the simplest. Woo! Stop haunting me, Fang!
Ixisnagus wasn't pleased by the echidna's blaspheme answer.
It's a real word and it means exactly what it means.
Not pleased at all. That's preposterous. Everything happens for a reason. Everything has an explanation! He yelled in frustration.
Well, then can you explain why people are dumb?
Well.
Television! There you go.
Oh yeah? Explain this then. When you absorbed the energy from the Master Emerald, how in the holy high hell did you end up that fucked up aspect of yours? Shouted the angry echidna.
The one line of thought that's going to bring down his entire logic is body shame, apparently.
Oh! The gruesome-looking, one-horned, one-clawed-handed freak, curtly known as Naugus, found out that he couldn't answer that fairly reasonable question.
That's like asking a burned victim, why does he look so ugly?
He put a face. He put a face.
Yes, it's an expression. Look it up.
Face goes on, face goes off. Face goes on, face goes off. Face goes on, face goes off.
A grinning Tails went into the argument. Are we just going to defeat the villain with...
A debate.
Yeah!
Why not? They cannot beat him with a regular fight, and also, let's face it, I'm not exactly the best at action scenes, so should you really be complaining about that?
Okay.
Right. And after your transformation, why did you invented all that stuff about being an ancient god, a devil, Iblis and stuff in the first place? Did you wanted a whole new background because your true story sucked?
Remarked the Vulpine.
You're a bad writer!
Naugus was now even less pleased. Finally, a particularly eager Sonic entered in the debate.
Yeah, and what about that stupid name of yours? Did you want it to sound ominous and cool? What was that again? Pixie's Chorus?
Chuckled the hedgehog.
No, it was Sexy Naugus. No, I think it was more like Ictus Bogus.
Corrected an already laughing Tails. Fuck no! It was Lupin Jackass! Added an hysterical Knuckles. Lupin Jack.
This is the payoff for that one time in which they started getting his name wrong.
Okay.
Now you see why it was there. This was the long-term payoff of a one-note joke.
Okay, guys, it actually continues. They went on, and on, and on, and on.
Hocus Pocus!
Phyllis Beardies.
Angus Fungus.
That's actually a real character from the 90s Paperi Nick comic line.
Enough with this! cried the distressed sorcerer. The three Mobians stopped their innocent mocking at bogus, jackass. But whatever. Even the author is like...
Yes, even the author is like...
They stopped their mocking at that idiot's expenses. Yes, he's an idiot. I can finally say it! Idiot, 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 idiot! Ha ha ha!
Truly.
How dare you defy me! The idiot shouted, while his body started to be encircled by rather ridiculous and cheap thunders of rage. I am the most powerful being in the universe! I have the power!
I've got the power! Yeah!
Nintendo power! Got all the moves that you can use. Nintendo power!
Ah, shut up, he dork!
Before the freak of unnature could even register it, Sonic came at him as his trademark breakneck speed and gave him a super fast uppercut that sent the bewildered mage to the sky,
You can!
only to get grabbed by an already flying Tails who started spinning in circle at lightning speed with the screaming jerk in his grasp. Once he got enough momentum, he released the horn freak, who just flew right into Knuckles' waiting eager fist.
This is a callback to their fight with Fang.
No one remembers how that fight went anymore.
In this exact same manner. It is the exact same strategy. It was meant at the time to represent their chemistry as a group, and now this is all coming together for the final fight.
The impact that followed did send the pathetic magician right into the Master Emerald Shrine, leaving a cartoon-like silhouette in the marble. Everyone laughed at the old crook's misery. Even the god gem glowed in amusement. Apparently it's sentient.
Chaos.
That is what has been implied.
Man, you're so pathetic. I can't believe I had so much fear of you in the first place.
Thank you for voicing Tails, the bar.
Oh, I thought I read Knuckles.
Man, you are so pathetic. I can't believe I had so much fear of you in the first place.
Mocked the now
Goliardic.
Goliardic.
Now you are
Yes.
just coming up with words.
No, it's a real word.
Naugus.
Naugus, guess what would be good time now to use those extremely useful mind control powers you have?
Naugus was livid, to say the very least. Then he calmed himself and slowly raised from the ground. Apparently unharmed, his three adversaries ceased their laughter and went serious as well. Very well. Since you think I'm just another cheap villain, I'll tell you about my evil plan to take over the world.
Of course!
He now had their attention. You see, even with my divine powers, killing every single undeserving being would have taken too long. That's why I collected this peculiar item. An item that I found along with Cosmo.
Oh no. Please
the-
don't tell me.
The Infinity Gauntlet?
Oh, I only wish.
Both Tails and Knuckles' expressions went pale. They knew of what item the sorcerer was talking about. Sonic didn't understand the situation, but seeing his friends in that condition panicked him as well. Naugus grinned like the monster he was while the inevitable, deadly words of knowledge came out from the mouth of the frightened Kit.
Project Doomsday! You had it for all this time!
And now shaking Tails muttered. Sonic and Knuckles just stood there, petrified. It was Naugus's turn to laugh.
It was Ix's turn.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was Ix's turn to laugh. I just don't like to waste things.
My plan is great.
My plan is great. It is still intact, lovingly conserved in the sanctuary dimension. I've been trapped for so long, and once I'll take the necessary energy from the Master Emerald, I'll be able to open an interdimensional door big enough for the missile to pass and destroy any living being on Earth. I shall create my perfect order from the ashes of this filthy world.
I think he's overestimating the power of a single nuke a bit much.
Yes, but it will still cause some damage.
I mean, there is a perfect position where massive amounts of both humans and Mobians are concentrated at the moment to use that thing.
Yes.
That too.
Okay, Tails, buddy. I think you should reserve that reaction for when it is actually too late to stop it.
cried the two-tailed fox, while launching himself over the madmen. Madmen? As in there's more than one of him?
Yes.
No?
Yes.
The echidna and the blue hedgehog followed suit. Fools! Shouted Norgus, while clapping his infamous crab-like hand. The three heroes found themselves stocked inside solid ice of the same kind that trapped Tails before, only their heads were left free. Without wasting any more time, the crazed demon jumped right on the green god gem on top of the shrine and started stealing its energy once again.
No! Stop it!
You stupid fucker!
This is bad. No. This is Mondo bad.
Saving that one for such situations like this, huh?
Yes.
They all shouted to him, but it was already too late. Above Norgus's head, the portal was already opening. It grew larger, and larger, and larger.
And there is a sex joke waiting to happen.
And swoller, and chungus.
And longer.
The dark mages laughed harder, and harder, and harder.
And
I think I get it.
And then, when all hopes seemed to be lost, I added a twist!
So literally only thing that saved our heroes was Deus Ex Machina.
Yes! I am just adding a Deus Ex Machina and openly admitting it. At some point, this stopped being about characters versus other characters. This was about the writer facing his inner demons.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna say it like this. What is that? Asked Knuckles to no one in particular. Sonic flinched.
It's Shadow!
Don't you mean
Da-da-da!
daddy? I mean son. I mean... Yes, it's son, isn't it?
Sonny!
Indeed, the unmistakable black and red silhouette of the ultimate life form came out of nowhere at light speed, and before the uttered, bewildered Norgus could do or say anything, the hedgehog entered the portal.
Okay, guys. On the 3. 1, 2, 3. Shadow!
Tails, Knuckles, and Sonic cried in chorus,
Hey, title drop.
but to no avail.
Yes, title drop. I just realized.
I just realized that too now. Shadow the Hedgehog was gone. Again.
There is only so many times you can die before it stops being shocking.
Okay, we actually have Shadow and Mephiles talking to each other now. Who were Shadow and Mephiles again?
I was Shadow.
Okay, there is a long and rich history as to whom had the opportunity to voice both Shadow and Mephiles. I started off voicing both. Then I eventually lent the role to Devar. Then you came along and I gave you Shadow because your Shadow smoke addict voice was amusing. So I guess it's the two of you talking to each other now. Great.
Well, dear sibling, here goes nothing.
Gee, brother. If somebody would have told that I was going to die by saving the whole world from a nuclear missile.
Yes! 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 Yes!
Yes!
Yes!
Yes!
Yes!
Yes!
Yes!
Yes!
Yes!
Yes! Yes!
I probably would have killed it and devoured its flesh.
Ellipses!
What's wrong, Shadow? No angry reply this time.
Ellipses!
Shadow?
Mephiles, brother, you do know that in order to ensure the total annihilation of this menace and seal the portal, we will have to sacrifice a life force. Do you know that?
When
How do
was
you
this
know that?
established?
Yes.
Never. Yes, of course I know. And believe it or not, I'm ready to do this with you. Together, until the end. Right, brother?
That's the point. There is only need of one life force, not two.
What are you saying?
Mephiles,
Yes?
stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
Ow!
Okay.
Callbacks. Will you do me a favor?
Anything?
Please, take care of Amy for me.
No, wait!
I'm coming, Maria.
Don't do it!
Sayonara, Mephiles the Dark.
Brother!
What you say? Say that you only meant well. Of course you did. What you say? That it's all for the best. He's coming, Maria.
I'm coming!
I'm coming home, Mama.
Can I say?
Yeah.
This is the coward's way out from the polyamory discourse. Which
Yeah.
was the most important discourse we've ever had on this reading.
If
The
you
least
say
of-
so.
It's the least offensive one, anyway.
It came to light. It came the noise of the explosion, and then the portal was closed forever.
Forever?
Forever.
Ah!
I hate you.
And now I can't help but think of Cow from Cow and Chicken, where she says, forever.
I was going for Pinkie Pie.
Yes, I figured.
No one of the witnesses dared to utter a single word. Too much was the shock. Too much was the sadness. Too much was the rage.
I'm sorry, as Yoda taking over the narration?
I was going more of a Batman.
I mean, I was referring to the grammar.
Nogus was furious. So furious, actually, that he failed to immediately notice the interesting developments that were happening right behind him. Then he noticed some of the Master Emerald's unlimited energy departing from it. A sudden and very tangible fear found its way inside the former human's blackened soul. he slowly turned from where he was. And he saw them, his 3 enemies, his 3 former captives, freed from their own prisons, with the 7 glowing chaos emeralds floating around their bodies, and very angry.
There was a 7 angry emerald.
7 angry gems.
They came out of nowhere. Recolored gems managed to regain their own energies from their mother source without the help of any fancy litanies or complicated machinery. They just did it. Driven by the sheer force of the 3 heroes' emotions.
Driven by the author literally announcing a Deus Ex Machina.
They stood still in their spots while the jewels started spinning around them.
You spin me right round, baby, right round, like a record, baby, right round, round, round.
They went faster and faster and faster until they disappeared in a mighty flash of golden light. They were filling their souls with light. Norgos had to cover his eyes to prevent damage in his viewing sight.
Viewing sight for the last time.
He has described the eyes like this before, several times actually.
When he reopened them, they grew 10 times larger. His eyes grew so much that his head exploded. The end. Da 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 da. Wow, I can't continue. The story ended. The evil was defeated.
No, the story is not ended. Stop changing it.
I am taking over as the author and I am changing
No
the
one
ending.
can take over the author. I am taking over and I'm reading the rest of it.
I'm coming over there and pushing you over and taking over.
No, you aren't.
Yes, I am here. I'm at your door. Hear it?
I hear it from your end, so that means you're literally here with me. That makes sense.
Yes.
Anyway.
Now I am pushing you over.
Okay, carry on, Isaac.
Can we? Okay, guys, this is the climax. Can you give me the climax, please? Can you? Can you make me climax?
Oh my! Oh my! Fine, drop those pants.
No!
Devar can give you the recipe.
No, he's not getting my recipes.
Okay.
There they were, the chosen ones, the creatures who had been gifted with the ability of controlling chaos, the 3 vessels at their full potential.
We are the chosen ones.
In their
Sacrifice
chaos forms. The once cobalt blue color of the roboticized fairy hedgehog known as Sanic was now bright gold. His eyes were glowing red and his skills were all pointed toward the sky.
His quills.
That's what I said. Quills.
No, you said his skills. Is he playing Overwatch?
Yeah, I thought he said skills as well.
Madhog said that I said kills and you said I said skills.
Okay, but canonically, they were quills.
Knuckles' once red fur was now a glowing cerulean, just like his eyes. And overall, he looked even more menacing than the Echidna already used to be. And ultimately, Tails. His orange-yellow foxy fur was now bright like the sun itself, and his 3 headbangs seemed to be longer than they were before. Even his tails looked bigger and more fluffy, yet menacing than ever.
Fluffy and menacing are not the 2 words I expect to see together.
His eyes were blue, but without pupils. All their angry gazes were undeniably stalked over the sorcerer's terrified form. The stalks were rising. Just
In a
like...
moment, they will fall down.
who, just like any cheap villain would do in this kind of situation, was stubbornly denying the obvious. He was a flat earther.
No! That's impossible! How could you do that? I demand to know!
He cried like the big ugly baby he was.
Can you not do this voice? Are you trying to sound like Matti?
Am I?
You know when Matti does this voice like this, specifically to irritate me?
Maybe it's Matti's spirit possessing me, so that he can be here in spirit.
Aww.
They all smirked. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
It just
happened.
They answered in unison, as if they were a unique entity.
What are you going to do with me?
The smirk grew even larger.
3,
2,
1.
We'll just improvise!
Their collective answer. A certain well-known dead sniper would have been proud of them, and his approval would have filled them with shame. Shame! Before Nagas could even try to escape, they were already on him, beating the hell out of Viz's skin. Tails used his lethal namesakes as devastating whiplashes. Sonic spin-dashed him, and Knuckles was just mauling him with his huge fists. When they grew bored of it, they all darted toward the sky. They all flew in the sky and summoned enough energy for their last attack. From the position he was, the bloody, beaten, limp form of the once mighty god could look in the eye of his own demise. They were now ready. Chaos! To end this blast! Once and for all. A humongous beam of red energy was launched from their respective hands, hitting the doomed sorcerer with deadly precision. In the last moments of his pathetic and obnoxious existence, Ixis Nagas could only think one last sentence.
I hate them. Hate them. Hate them. Hate them. Hate them!
A cheap villain until the very end. After the explosion, nothing was left of him, not even his ludicrous horn. Well, that was easy. Kind of a letdown, to be honest. Invincible, my yes! The three Mobians slowly descended to the soil again.
Soil is my power.
Their chaos forms faded away, and their natural fur color, along with their average physical details, returned. They exchanged looks of approval. The now normal two-tailed fox was about to say something important for the first time when...
Tails! Guys!
Was that the right voice?
It's the reunion! It's the long-awaited reunion, guys! Aren't you crying in commotion?
Not really.
No. A familiar voice called his name, a sweet, caring, feminine voice he was afraid he would have never heard again.
Sorry, I can't help but think you're being sarcastic.
Tails slowly but convincingly turned, and there she was, freed by her former prison.
Wait, so her
What?
prison that she was staying in freed her?
Yes, it kicked her out. The beautiful and young form of Cosmo the Cetrian.
She's back! They can be together now! Yes! Happy ending for all! You know, except for Shadow and I guess Blaze and Void did not get their happy ending in a manner of speaking, so... And Knuckles is getting on with his sister. That's not a happy ending.
I mean, if you really want to get really fricked up, we could have Blaze in a threesome relationship with Tails and Cosmo.
That would be rather impractical considering our current predicament.
We can add necrophilia to the list.
No.
You can't really add necrophilia to the list if there is no body to defile.
Can we continue, please?
Yes,
It's
please.
the spirit of things.
Speaking of spirit of things, I'm going to get drunk if you don't continue right now.
Aren't we all already drunk from the atmosphere?
We are drunk of life.
The Valpine's mouth was agape. The plant girl's gaze was brighter than ever. Soft tears started their joyful descent from the two kids' respective eyes.
They were crying in commotion.
Tears of blood.
No, just regular tears of
Of
commotion.
blood. Of commotional blood.
That is not a word. That's not, no.
Please
So it fits the
continue.
peak perfectly. Cosmo! He replied through sobs of happiness. Both of them darted toward each other and embraced tightly in the middle of the path without any intentions of letting the other go. You don't know how much I missed you! Tails muttered in the girl's ear while caressing her soft, leaf-like hair, still crying.
I love you so much, Tails. Please don't leave again.
Well, technically it was you who left.
Shh. Don't ruin the moment.
She practically begged him. I won't, no matter what. I won't.
Liars.
Then both Cosmo and Tails stared at their eyes. They stared at their own eyes. It was really creepy looking.
Yeah, they stared at their eyes that were on the side.
Wait, it gets better.
It used to be their favorite activity after all.
It used to be
Until now.
her favorite activity.
Without even blushing, as they usually would do at this moment, their lips gently united themselves in a sweet, childish kiss. Now there's that mouth-on-mouth action we were waiting for.
Now, listen, we've had several of those already, and you pointed them out in the same manner every time.
Hey, blame Devar, he was the one who slipped with his wording that time.
Wait, did I?
Yes.
Well, it's almost always his fault, isn't it?
Wait,
Yes.
what am I being blamed for again?
I don't remember, honestly. But it
During
has to
that,
be your fault.
During one of the chapters of this, when Sally was talking with her dad, and Devar actually mispronounced the line, making it that they were having mouth-on-mouth action.
Oh yes, that was great! That was amazing! One of the best
Yes.
moments in this entire travesty.
I forgot about that, to be honest. Oh my gosh. That probably made a few people happy.
Well, considering the laugh we had,
Well, I meant the fans who
Yes,
enjoyed
okay,
ourselves.
let's continue
But
this,
anyway,
please.
Let's continue.
Knuckles and Sonic. New video game on Sega Mega Drive. Just pretended to do something else and left the two lovebirds to their precious moment. The two adults were grinning between themselves. After a few heaven-like minutes, the two children's lips departed from each other. Their eyes were full of joy. Seriously? Nothing?
We just want this to end.
Carry on.
Finally, Tails spoke. Let's go home. Cosmo just nodded and cutely smiled. In the meantime, Sonic and Knuckles managed to recover all the Chaos Emeralds and so, they were ready to go. Everybody put a hand over each other's shoulder, while Tails and the other two Mobians used 3 of the emeralds in their possession to call up a Chaos Control! In a flash of green light, they were all gone.
Okay. Alright.
Well-
So that was your climax, and I sense some of your confusion about this.
Well, it was all over the place.
I like a refund on my climax, please.
Okay. I'm going to reveal what my intent was with Ixis Nogos, what my real intent was with the character. You might have noticed that it has been a leitmotif about the antagonists in this fanfiction, that they are really
Dumb.
not that... Yes, exactly. They are not all that evil so much as they are morons. Right? Eggman is an idiot, a comic book villain who happens to have a lot of power and uses that power to oppress others. Ixis Nogos is the same. He has literal magical powers and uses those powers to get away with everything. And that was the point I wanted to make about evil. Because we tend to romanticize evil, this idea of an all-powerful entity that threatens us all, and it's infallible, and it's the devil. It's that whole Christian religious narrative of having a devil, an ultimate antagonist and villain, to oppose everything that is good in the world.
Well, in this fic, Tails was the true Satan.
Okay, well, that silly analogy aside, the truth about evil is that evil is banal. The true face of evil in real life is oftentimes a giant, selfish douchebag who happens to be in a position of power and uses that power to
Be a douchebag.
and oppress others for his own personal gains. And that's exactly what I was going for with the villains in this fanfiction. It was topical at the time during the Bush administration, and I feel is now more topical than ever. It will never not be topical, to
And
be
that's
sadly
no
honest.
good.
So yes, the execution is, as you said, all over the place and not good in the slightest, but this was the intent I had with the villains. Of course, for that reason, this does not make for a satisfying climax, especially if you've been reading this story from the beginning. But that is the price you have to pay in order to get your theme across.
Now I'm just eagerly waiting to see how many of the reviewers praise the way Ixis Nagas was defeated.
We'll see about that. But guys, we still have a couple more
Paragraphs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's do this. When they returned to Knothole with the 7 Chaos Emeralds in their grasps, they were greeted like heroes.
Wait, what?
Well, they were waiting for them to come back with the emeralds.
So the whole massive battle against Robotnik and the Robotropolis happened off screen.
Yes!
Isn't that amazing?
No.
Okay, so we cut to that war just once to show the good guys retreating.
They won because they retreated.
The whole combat, the whole war this fic started, was built around, was completely and utterly pointless.
Chaos.
Yeah, shut up.
Also, this story was not really built around that war at all. It was built around the upcoming confrontation with Ixis Nogos. The war was really on the side.
The war was a distraction from the actual story.
Then it shouldn't have had that big of an, part of the story. With all the political machinations in the background and...
Okay, let's carry on.
But it gave us the best possible moments.
Yes, and that is sad.
Tails hugged his mother Sally tightly and lovingly, and then he officially presented his girlfriend Cosmo to her, to which she proceeded to hate. She eventually greeted her once she managed to surpass her initial shock. Sonic met up with Bunny again. He was glad that she survived. He found the courage to tell her about his true nature, or unnature if you will. She just sweetly smiled and kissed him his synthetic lips. He danced on fluffy clouds for the rest of the day. Not figuratively.
So he was like Blount from Goblin 3 then.
Blount was doing it figuratively.
USB cables.
Oh my god. I just remembered.
Oh gosh.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, and then Sonic afterwards goes like, yeah, you're gonna need an antivirus for that.
Oh no, we made this joke already and that's sad. I can't. Knuckles found his sister, Tikal. Oh no. And to the female echidna's utter joy, he forgave her.
No!
It's completely unearned, but he forgave her. Then he confessed his feelings toward her and the fact that he would love to see their own child grow up. I just realized, guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tikal and Knuckles are the Lannisters. Except not well written. Believe it or not, Game of Thrones just gave us the best and most positive representation, mainstream representation of an incest romance. Make of that what you will.
She was on tears.
She was on tears. Oh no, Tikal, she's on the stuff again. The two siblings and lovers embraced each other tightly and kissed, not caring about others' opinions. Okay, yes, this is the Lannisters, if the writers had completely dropped the ball on that. And I do mean completely. Knuckles eventually left a comment or two about Tikal's war attire? She blushed madly at that. Look at the two lovebirds. This is a perfectly healthy and not abusive relationship.
Totally.
Oh.
This is the stuff of nightmares. Espio and Rotor did manage to survive the battle. Rotor lived!
Yeah.
Hallelujah! Oh my gosh. Espio and Rotor lived too. Isn't that great? Rotor especially was the most important character.
Well, the most interesting character.
No. But okay, hold on. Question. Rotor managed to survive, but what about the boys? Did he send in the boys or not?
The boys!
Although not without a price. The walrus was missing one leg, and the chameleon lost his characteristic horn. The returning group greeted them as well.
Hi, Espio. Then Rotor comes in and they are like, who are you?
Yes, that should be the reaction.
Yeah.
Amy Rose was alive too. Who are you again? Much to Tails' surprise, he really thought that she was a goner after falling in the ocean when they went on South Island. She told him that Shadow saved her, and that topic forced the kid to tell her the truth about the heroic twin brother's sacrifice. She cried, of course. She almost ripped off her own quills in despair. Oh wow, I'm so glad this is getting its own dramatic scene instead of just a mention. The Dark Duo. The Dark Duo. This needs to be a band. The Dark Duo. The One-Bodied Siblings. Ew, no, that's a terrible name for a band. The two hedgehogs she loved with all her might were simply gone.
Yup,
She would have
completely
to
gone.
live with this eventually. As Maximilian Acorn informed them, the result of their attack at the outskirts of Robotropolis turned out to be catastrophic. Not only they couldn't take back the city, but now Dr. Eggman would have had enough time to reorganize his troops and invade Mobius. Oh yes, we have that issue with the other villain that's still at large.
Yeah, happy ending, everybody!
Yeah,
Yes.
we failed!
The three heroes smirked at this. This was definitely not going to happen.
That was definitely.
Okay, guys, it's epilogue time. And I know that because the word epilogue is literally introducing the next paragraph. Would you mind if I finish it?
I don't mind.
Go
Okay.
ahead. Put this thing to rest. Take it
Okay.
behind the barn.
Would you like my rocket launcher?
Epilogue. For every beginning, there must be an end. The only problem now is, how am I going to properly end a saga like this? We're doing this again! We're having this moment!
This is a moment that's existing now.
Oh no!
Well, you could start with the proper ending.
This has been a saga that took everything from me. Usually, you reserve these thoughts for the author's notes at the end of the story, not inside the story.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we can all agree that this story did take everything from you.
My emotions, my feelings, and even some of my personal issues. I'll say.
Some.
A story in which I questioned my dubious abilities as a writer. This is the literary equivalent of humble bragging. Astounding. And hopefully, a story that would inspire someone else's work. And you're going to laugh at this, but
It
the
did?
sad... Yes.
You
The
have
sad
mentioned that
truth is that this inspired somebody
Yeah,
to
you
write
said.
their own stories. Perhaps I'm just a little delusional now, but the question remains, how am I going to finish this? Should I put a nihilistic ending in which everybody dies? No! Okay, how about an Hollywood-like happy ending? Is this
No!
Wayne's World? Is this Wayne's World?
Apparently.
A Scooby-Doo ending? A musical ending with an important morale? That could work. Thanks for the suggestion, myself. No problem, me. Anytime.
Madhog, is there something you'd like to tell us?
No, there is nothing wrong with me. Shut up.
No, I was talking to the other you.
There is no other me. What are you talking about? Very well then. On with the epilogue. I thought this was the epilogue
I thought
already, but
that too.
no. Okay, never mind.
That was the prologue of the epilogue.
But it was called the epilogue. Oh,
But it's
never
to
mind.
introduce the epilogue.
Yes, it was misdirection.
Never
wouldn't realize
mind.
it.
Never mind. Let's finish this.
Okay, I'll bring the shotgun, you take it behind the barn.
The infamous Dr. Eggman was not a happy camper. Was not a happy person. As a matter of fact, he was pissed, like the whole infernal pantheon, after losing a chess game against Weird Al. What? How do I keep coming up with this nonsense? Where the heck did that come from? Even the narrator is baffled by this. His big brown mustaches perched nastily for his inconceivable rage. He couldn't tolerate the idea that a bunch of talking animals had been almost able to invade his precious empire capital. They would have paid for their defiance, that was for sure. Too bad that a certain group of free talking animals wasn't on that same opinion. Right now, one of the doctor's floating radio came visiting the madman himself. And it had a message for him? Well, they are turning the tables on him.
Hello there, Doctor.
Started the very familiar, much to Eggman's dismay, registered voice of a certain vulpine wonder he used to know.
If you are listening this message, then you just met up with one of your radio I managed to reprogram. I've only one short thing to say to you, Eggbot. Redirect all of your floating cameras to the eastern zone of your empire and enjoy the show. In other words, keep the change, you filthy animal!
Yeah. So what? All the cameras gonna go to the eastern zone, and suddenly everyone's having a big dance number, like a DreamWorks ending.
I wish I could have thought of that. The now utterly irate scientist was literally fuming his brain out. In a burst of rage, he crushed the little radio in front of him with his bare hands, and then he decided to follow his long-time rival's suggestion and ordered all of his cameras left to fix themselves on the aforementioned zone. What he saw scared the hell out of his large butt.
While all of his cameras were looking to the east, the Mobian army attacked from the west.
No, outskirts of Robotropolis. 5:30 a.m. of the new day. Yes, it is. It's literally a new day. Symbolically also. From their eye position, they have the high ground, guys. Tails, Knuckles, and Sonic had a very good view of the dawning sun behind the not anymore ominous sight of the Dark City. Today was a very special day for the kid. It was his birthday, and he was about to start the party, along with his two best friends and companions.
Party hardy hardy, we're gonna have a party! Oh, party hardy hardy!
He knew that he wouldn't have been able to make it so far without their precious help. He smiled at them, and they smiled him back.
Then they kissed.
That comes at the end. Then they all returned their gazes over the magnificent view in front of them. They noticed a few floating cameras in the distance, registering their every moves. They all smirked and braced. Seemingly out of nowhere, the 7 Chaos Emeralds started to encircle the free Mobians. It was time for this party to blow! Hit the music! Okay, ignore the actual text of a song in this next paragraph.
Yeah, because just live and learn. Can you feel that?
Yes, I'm going to
Moving
play that
through your
song
mind.
as I read this, so you don't need to sing it. They could already feel the power while the sacred gems began their spinning ritual. It was intoxicating, yes. It was dangerous and potentially addicting, yes. But in their hands, this power represented something different. It was freedom, it was life and will to survive, it was chaos. Locked in the room, the current Mobian Council's members were debating about something important, unlike politicians usually do, commentary, and each and every one of them was equally determined and motivated in doing the best for their country.
No, now we know that this is just a fictional story.
Yes, now we know. Sally Acorn, her father Maximilian, Bunny Rabbit, and the 2 new members were heroes, Espew and Rotor.
Rotor?
I am. Now, guys, I'm sure Espew brings a lot to the conversation.
I mean, Rotor! Sure, why not? Randomly in the council, because war hero.
They're just there for window dressing.
Why do I give him so much screen time? I mean, I even gave him a payoff, and he wasn't even a real character in this. What in the world? Whatever, let's continue. We're all shouting for making their voices heard. Well, most of them were shouting. Espew was just sleeping. Why is he here? He was still him, after all.
He's acting mostly like a politician.
It was the right decision. Tikal and her loyal subjects were back in Westopolis. Surprisingly enough, the city was under reconstruction. Due to their efforts in the war, the Mobian Council gave them the permission to build their own state, much to GUN's displeasure. Inside their personal tent, Tikal the Echidna, neo-elected queen of this newborn kingdom, was caressing her belly. Oh gosh, she is Cersei! Oh no! Where the soon-to-be newborn prince was slowly growing. She looked more solar and happy than ever. But that all changed when the mother of Dragon attacked! And of course, she would wait for her future husband and king to return and live with her until death would say otherwise, and perhaps even beyond.
So, King Knuckles, what is your foreign policy? We shall punch it! What is your internal policy? We shall punch it! What is your... We shall punch it! Until it is smart enough to step out of the way, like that wall! At one time.
That is a payoff for the wall. I love it. The Chaos Emeralds were spinning faster. The 3 Mobian warriors were almost overwhelmed by their energy. Almost there. Can you feel life tickling you inside?
Oh, it is most certainly tickling certain places.
Amy Rose was mourning about her tragic losses. She didn't know how could she possibly overcome her sorrow. She was walking inside the great forest when she saw him right in front of her. With his unmistakable snaky eyes, Mephiles was alive! Hooray! And he was there for his rose. Ugh, this line. He was there for his rose. Okay.
I don't know, it seems fine.
No,
I mean,
he survived.
He walks there, picks up a rose from the ground, and then leaves.
Well, it's better than what the lyrics say in Amy's theme song. He survived thanks to his brother's sacrifice, and I am not sure how does that work. But okay, I will not question it.
Oh, Brother Shadow!
He was a unique being, with a unique body. She cried, he cried, they both embraced and kissed. Together, they will overcome their sorrows and live their lives as they wanted. Together.
Together.
They were starting to change. The transformation was almost complete. Encased in their frozen sleep stood the 2 eternal lovers, Blazing Void, the Blazing Princess and her charming prince, united in their frosted coffin, in the sanctuary dimension, their new kingdom, with no one daring to disturb them. A love that surpasses time itself, a love that defies death. Inside their common coffin, they were embraced, their faces were serene. In the tranquility of their own crystal world, they would always be together, forever and eternally.
Okay.
Okay,
I
that
mean,
just happened.
Well, as far as mausoleums go, that's pretty nice.
Cosmo sat in the middle of the flower field she loved so much. The ancient ruin zone was her and Tails' secret place, and in such a beautiful place she would have waited for him, her savior, her protector, her guardian angel, her fox.
Hanging on the edge of tomorrow, live and learn from the words against the day. Live and learn, if you bet on, if you borrow. Live and learn, you may never find your way. Live and learn, yeah, 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 yeah. Live and learn.
And the transformation was complete. Tails, Knuckles, and Sonic were in their chaos forms, ready to end this story once and for all, literally, and to begin another one. Are you threatening me? A whole new chapter in their life, new as the sunrise went. They looked each other into the eyes and spoke.
Happy birthday, Tails.
Happy birthday, Tails!
Thank you, guys. Now, let's kick some butt!
And the three chosen heroes of this adventure darted toward the city, the horizon, and their uncertain yet intriguing future. Can you feel life? Because they can. The end. I'll wait for the applause.
It will only end with a whimper.
And yes, that is the ending, the official ending of the Tales saga. We did it, guys.
We did.
Did it.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes, we did it.
A few changes.
I decided to go with an open ending, which is not really an open ending technically, because we all know what happens next. We can imagine it, but it is presented as such. Well, on one hand, I did not know how to end it properly because the big bad villain, the one that actually mattered, has been dealt with, and Eggman was a bit of an afterthought at this point. But on the other hand, I thought this was more in line with all the theming up until this point, which is to say, there is no preordained fate, there is just a chaos. And in this chaos, we are free to make our own decisions and choices. And they are going to make their own choices, which I had no right to tell you about, because it's their choices, and my story is done. It's not good, I know, but that's the intent.
I mean, the idea is not bad and pretty nice, but the execution was...
I know the execution is bad. We've been reading this since 2016. Oh my gosh, it's over. Oh my gosh, I just realized.
The journey is over.
If you exclude the spin-offs and the official sequel that was never finished, all of which are published on myfanfiction.net account and will no doubt be addressed at some point. But we finished this, guys!
Yay! Now we have to read the reviews.
Before we move to the reviews, I would like to give my final thoughts. Some of you may remember during one of the earlier chapters of this last part of the story how I compared this fic to Fallout 76.
Yes.
I was very offended by that, but go on.
I am still standing behind those words because, let's face it, this is bad. This is very, very bad.
Yes, I would argue it's bad in many wonderful, colorful ways.
But at the same time, it is far from the worst that I have read in the world of fan fiction. While it is bad all and over, the only true way to get constant amusement of it is like in Fallout 76. If you play, or in this case, read it with your friends to make fun of it. And it does have some genuinely good and or heartfelt moments.
Wow, really? Thank you.
Yeah, Cosmos' sacrifice and her last words with Tails, the suicide and final moments of Snifflitter Robotnik.
Okay, in fairness, that part with Tails and Cosmo, I ripped it off from Sonic X, so it's not even my writing.
The confrontation between Eggman and Tails on the South Island had some good moments. And then there was Knuckles all around was the most entertaining and genuinely funny character in this fic.
I appreciate that, you have no idea. And even after I completely ruined this character, that time, yikes.
Yes. Made a right cupcake of that one.
Okay, we need to put this recipe to rest once and for all. Devar,
Yes.
will you give us your final thoughts?
What have I said that I've not said yet, other than the fact this fanfiction is... the word misguided comes to mind a lot. Just because, well, a lot of character motivations and interactions are misguided. The flow of the narrative's misguided.
The two stories it tries to tell are disjointed and end in whimpering flat tones instead of glorious achievements.
I actually want to say I stand by one of my comments I made that Madhog was insulted by, which
Are you
was...
talking about the Kingdom Hearts comment?
Oh, I'm still mad about that. I'm
Yes.
still mad about that.
I can make sense of Kingdom Hearts more than I could of this fanfiction.
No, you can't. Nobody can. Don't lie to
I
yourself.
can.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
No,
Yes,
you can't.
It
Yes,
just
you
takes
can.
a... Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you
Okay,
can.
whatever.
Yes, we can.
I
Yes,
don't want to
we
hear
can.
it. I don't want to hear it. I will not acknowledge this as legitimate criticism comparing me to Kingdom Hearts. No, anything else goes, but that one crosses the line.
I'm still standing by it.
I am going to have to block you on Twitter. I'm going to have to mass report you on Twitter support and have your account suspended for harassment.
Well, Madhog is canoeing down the denial.
Yeah.
Denial. Canoeing down denial. Nice. Real nice.
Yeah, this story, it's not the worst I've read, but it's definitely definitely
bad.
has its moments of ickiness, and
It's very icky. I will
And-
not lie about that.
even sometimes feel like there's some parts of me that dies as a writer.
For me, it is fic says that it was written by someone with a lot of ideas and passion and love for this franchise, but not much of actual writing skill.
Basically, I wrote a fanfiction. That
Yes.
is the beginning and the end of the statement. It doesn't help that I've been surrounded by sycophants that praised the very soil by which I would walk. Speaking of
which,
it is time to go read the reviews for chapter 10. The first couple of reviews are from guests. The first one says, Shadow is
a freaking immortal!
Yes, it says Shadow is frigging immortal in capital letters, and this seemed very upset for some reason.
Yeah.
But the second review, the second guest review, is even better than that.
Wow.
Oh.
That's it. Wow. It says wow and nothing else.
Just
And-
wow.
If
And
you
we
don't
should
have
also-
anything to say, don't say it.
And we should probably also mention that the latest review, which was the Shadow is freaking immortal, was posted on May 8th, 2013.
People have been reading this up until 2013? What are you, nuts?
Or at least reviewing it. This doesn't show when was the last time someone read this.
I know that people are still reading it. I
Yeah.
can feel it in my bones.
Like us.
You
Like
can feel
us.
You can feel it in your jellies.
Okay, let's continue with reviewing.
Oh, you've seen Detective Pikachu too.
Yes.
It was nice. The next one says, Beautiful. That's really all I can say. I can't find the words I'm looking for, so I'll just go with beautiful. Thank you.
Ellipses, 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 Steve. Beautiful. After spending the day reading every story in your Tales saga, all I can say is beautiful.
You spent the entire day binge reading my stories. Oh wow.
Oh no. I need to continue reading this.
Yes.
Everything
do so.
was so masterfully written. The emotion, the power, the rage, the fear, the love, the philosophy, even the bits of humor sprinkled into a very serious story.
A very serious story.
It was all so beautiful. Sure, there were a few spelling mistakes here and there,
Phew!
but you more than made up for it with your phenomenal story. I would kill for your skills with the written word. You are a true writing god among writers. I can only pray to one day be as good as you. Sayonara, Madhog.
It turns out that when I said sycophants earlier, I was being generous. This is not useful at all for my ego.
This
Let me
is
tell you.
that's
Yeah,
just nasty.
Yeah, your ego is big enough already.
Oof. Nice ending. Nice ending. That's all it says. Nice ending. Okay, thank you.
To be perfectly and brutally honest, I'm quite envious of your writing and storytelling ability. The story was fantastic.
I don't know what to say to this.
You had everything. Thrilling faction scenes.
Faction
heartwarming
scenes?
Yes. Not that they really mattered in the
It
end.
clearly meant action scenes, but they were not good at all.
Heartwarming moments and great amount of intellect.
Intellect?
Choice of words was somewhat intentional. In the plot, I actually had to think through some of the stuff.
Wow. These are children, right? They are
Yes.
children, right?
Most likely.
I hope they are, jeez.
All in all, an excellent story that I enjoyed.
Well, good for you.
Oh boy.
I love the story because of its intriguing storyline. That's not. Whatever. If I was the one typing the story, I don't think I would have finished the first part of it. Although it's a bit straightforward, I like it just fine. How dare you criticize my perfect story? Signed TNR.
Yeah. Well, when I read this, I was like, you kidding? It's the end? Then, you brought over the Void Saga. I don't know. Well done. I'm thinking of actually favoriting you as an author. I may have not reviewed on every story because I'm probably too lazy, but I have read them all. I didn't skip through all the chapters. I like your work and confidence. Keep it up. Wait, what?
You might be confused. He's referring to the aforementioned spin-offs. Oh, this one is long.
I just finished reading the whole story, start to finish. I can really tell you put some soul into this work. I mean, that's true. I believe it reflects your abilities as an author. That's also true. My only problem with this story is that humans got such a bad rap throughout the story. I understand the whole GUN thing, but every human encountered in the story turned out as evil, aside from Maria!
Maria, you gotta see her.
Who was only encountered in a few flashbacks. It just seems a little
Well,
upsetting
actually,
that-
she was pretty bad too, considering what she was doing to poor innocent Mobians.
It just seems a little upsetting that you could have a character like Fang the Sniper, then have the massive generalization of humanity. Hey, I'm calling you out! What is wrong with people?
I don't know. They leave these nice reviews. They are very encouraging. What has the world come to?
I also would have expected a bigger response from GUN at Robotnik's possession of the capability and expenditure of nuclear arms, along with...
Don't you mean nuclear arms?
No, I mean nuclear arms.
I wish the bar was reading this.
Along with the revelation of Sniffly's betrayal.
Snively.
Sniffly's betrayal! I would have expected his arrest by GUN officials, a brief trial, and an execution. This might be countered by the evidence of the traitor's connections with the GUN brass, but such a foul-up as this would... Foul-up?
A foul-up.
No, whatever. As this would lead to multiple executions of treacherous commanders. I'm just being nitpicky. No, you are not.
Well, the last part was very nitpicky, actually.
We are taking what criticism we can, because other people aren't giving it.
Yes, in fairness, that's true.
And while I stand by my previous comment about humanity's role in the tale, this is an astounding refabrication of the Sonic story. It is a shiny star that stands out among some of the rest of the muck that litters this site. Bravo! P.S. I did wonder a little why no one bothered to point out to Fang or Ixis that order and chaos are inseparable, as there is no chaos without order, and no order can exist without chaos.
Because order is an illusion and everything is chaos.
I think this is the most critical we are going to get.
I think this is the most critical indeed. A crazy ending to a crazy story. Gotta love it. Gotta love it fast.
That's gonna be something to say.
I mean, if someone is pointing a gun to your head and telling you to love it, then you gotta love it.
By the way,
Gotta love it fast.
by the way, speaking of criticism,
Here comes one of the usual suspects.
Yes, the usual suspect who always likes to help with your grammar. Though I will not say all of them. I will say this one. He brings up the line of, "How in the holy high hell did you end up with that fucked up aspect of yours?" He just replies with, "I want to give congratulations on the best comeback ever."
Your bar is very low on that front, it would seem.
Epic tale, mate. Thank you for uniting those lovers at the end. I would have gotten very mad if Norgus won the faggotry ass battle.
You can't say that anymore.
Again, very good, and I absolutely loved it.
Good for you. Oh look, IGM is giving me 10 out of 10.
And that would be the power of what is known as chaos. A magnificent story that should be written down in a book. And it was once.
Once.
I vote 1,000,000 out of 10. Awesome work. All hail. IGN.
10
Go
out
to
of
your
10.
room.
And the final one, which... Is it Sarcasm Man or someone else?
This is the sarcasm, man.
Okay, so we end in glory then. This is a great way to end a great saga. Full stop. Also, is that song real or is it just made up?
Oh, come on.
Song real, or is it just made
How
up?
can you call yourself a Sonic fan and not know about Crush 40?
It must be sarcasm. It must be joking.
If it is real, can you tell me who sings it? Another question, do you plan on doing any more sagas with Sonic the Hedgehog?
After 11 years, are you finally going to answer those questions?
No. But I did at the time. Which is what we're going to read next. So join us when we come back to read the Void Saga, the Tales spin-offs, and the official sequel that was never finished. All of which are published and publicly available on my fanfiction.net account. And I am not even joking, at some point I intend to go back to those as well. But, for the purposes of this show, for the purposes of this reading, it is done. It is over. This is the end of the Tales saga.
We survived!
Yeah.
So, I am going to reward your patience, guys, by showing you a certain piece of artwork that I have commissioned someone to make just for such an occasion. Prepare to be astounded. I'm going to share it in the chat. Don't worry, the people at home will see this brilliant piece of artwork as they click on the video on YouTube. Ta-da!
Oh my gosh, Evangelion.
Yes, yes, Devar. Evangelion. Your old friend. Evangelion. Is Miss Evangelion your nanny or something?
Evangelion is something I never...
Devar, you are putting too many N's in Evangelion.
Yes, Evangelion.
Thank you for that. Okay, and on that high note, thanks for listening or watching, everybody. This has been Madhog Master.
And
I
I've
have
been
been
the
Isaac
Darkron.
You can't do that in unison, Devar.
Let's do all of it in unison, everyone at the same time.
No.
Okay, on my three. 1, 2, 3. I've been
I've been the
Madhog
Darkron.
I say you
Master.
good morning.
And good night.
Take care.
And good luck. And enjoy the end credits.
Yes, enjoy the nuclear Evangelion.
Definitely.
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Cause I've been blasting and laughing so long that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone. But I ain't never crossed a man that didn't deserve it. Me be treated like a punk, you know that's unheard of. You better watch how you talking and where you walking, or you and your homies might be lined in chalk. I really hate to trip, but I got the lock. As they croak, I see myself in the pistol smoke. Fool, I'm the kind of G that little homies wanna be like, on my knees in the night saying prayers in the streetlight. Keep spending most our lives living in a gangster's paradise. Been spending most our lives living in a gangster's paradise. We keep spending most our lives living in a gangster's paradise. We keep spending most our lives living in a gangster's paradise. Look at the situation they got me facing. I can't live a normal life, I was raised by the street, so I gotta be down with the hood thing. Too much television watching got me chasing dreams. I'm an educated fool with the money on my mind. Got my 10 in my hand and a gleam in my eye. But I'm a locked out gangster, a tripping banger. And my homies is down, so don't arouse my anger. Fool, dead ain't nothing but the heartbeat away. I'm living life do or die, what can I say? I'm 23 now, but will I live to see 24? The way things is going, I don't know. Keep spending most our lives living in a gangster's paradise. Been spending most our lives living in a gangster's paradise. We keep spending most our lives living in a gangster's paradise. We keep spending most our lives living in a gangster's paradise.
Wow.